have that information. So I'm going to show you a few different home pages on a few different classes that we have and what it looks like when you choose one of the 5 that are in, that are the options available. So let me share here. All right. This course is our Online Education Standards and Practices course. This class is over. So this is the very last homepage that we did. You can modify a homepage by clicking edit and changing it on the fly. What we do though, in this particular class, we change the homepage every week, so on Sundays. In our class, the Canvas, Introduction to Canvas class, we have one homepage. It's got the links to the 4 modules and then that's it. This course is 12 weeks. So I'm going to show you, if we go down to pages, I'll show you all the different home pages that we have. You can choose any page in your course to be your home page. You click on the gear and then click Use as Front Page, and it makes it the home page when your students log on. One thing, when a page is within a module, you have that next button at the bottom, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you make that exact same page into a home page, the next button is not there. So you have to give your students some way to navigate away from the home page. So you can use it as words like click on the modules over on the left, or you know, you can just add a link that takes them to the first page you want them to go to, but you have to give them something because you never know at what level your students are going to be. You're going to have students that are new to college, students that are new to online, students that are new to Canvas, and so you always want to guide them right where they're going. I always say that our students are like toddlers, so if you don't tell them where to go, they're just going to wander off. So as you may know, you have the opportunity to modify what your students see here on the left. So you can guide them in that way. I only want them to see home, modules, and their grades, and that's it. However, you can what was I saying? So you have that, which is good because you don't want to get them to go too many places. And but it's always a good idea too. Some modules doesn't mean anything to some people, well, to a lot of people that haven't used Canvas before, because modules is not that descriptive actually. So you don't always know. If you were brand new to Canvas, new to online, you know, you may not know where to go. So one of the things that we like to do, or that is good practice in your course, is to reduce cognitive load for your students. When a student is frustrated because they don't know where to go from the homepage, they're not learning. When they're frustrated with the LMS, they're not learning. So we want to make using the learning management system the easiest thing they're doing. When they're experiencing cognitive load and getting frustrated and overloaded, we want that to be because they're learning the content, not because they're frustrated with their computer. So, so let's see. These are, yeah, it's going to take a minute because they're all the way at the bottom because, of course, we had to name them with a W. Okay, so the very first week, our homepage looks like this. It has a button that says Start Here and not much else. We want them to know this is exactly what we want for your information. And then it gives them a couple other links.
Are we going to go through how to insert those buttons into pages?
We are not, as this is an introduction class and that's more of an advanced class. However,
okay.
If you go on the At One website, they did a, there was a webinar on it, which is way more detailed than I could give you because I don't, I'm more the, hey, look at this button. I found a button. Let's copy that. And instead of the, it's not what I wanted. Making a new one, you know. But it talks about both the buttons and the tabs because the tabs we have also in our course. And so people ask about it. This is the At One website. And if you go to desktop webinars, Over here is webinars archive. This is actually the last webinar that we did, the 3 Canvas design tips to increase student engagement. And it talks about buttons and tabs.
Okay, thank you.
And talk about buttons in that one? I'm pretty sure. Maybe not. I might have to send you guys the link. Maybe it talks about tabs and, oh, I lied. It's not buttons. It's tabs and accordions and pop-outs. I'll send you guys the link for buttons because it's not a, that one's not a webinar. But there's a couple different ways you can create buttons in this website called the Button Factory, DA Button Factory. And then the problem is each button you create is an image. So if your course had 50 buttons, you'd have to make 50 images.
Right, and then link to them.
Yes.
Is this essentially what we're doing?
And then if you think, oh, man, I don't like what that says, now you have to go make the button again, the image again. Whereas there is code to make a button, which is what ours are, where you can just go in and change the text that's on the button and it actually updates it. And then it's on it. I will send you the link.
While we're on this page, can I ask a question about your pages page? I noticed it can sort differently according to title or date or I think edit.
Mm-hmm.
Do we set that for students, or do students actually, can they sort that themselves?
I think they can sort it themselves.
Okay.
But pages is not a page that I would allow your students to see.
I was going to say, because to see it, depending on how they sort, they can so easily get confused on what they're supposed to do.
Is there a button at the top?
What's that?
There's a button at the top of the page to make sure that they don't see it, or?
Yeah. So over here, you can see that it's in the gray box. Because I'm the teacher on here, I see all of them. But the ones that are grayed out are the ones the student cannot see. And this is why you don't want them to see this page. This is also why you don't want them to see the files page. They kind of go together. The student gets to this page, it means nothing to them. So they could just start clicking. This particular course is organized with a numbering system to keep the pages in order. So these are not a mess. But if you didn't have that and they were just by this first letter here, M-I-C-M, they would be in
disarray.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So how do you block students from seeing that?
I will show you. One sec.
Okay.
I just want to show you guys the rest of this other page here. So when we have that welcome page, and then say week 4, we talk a little bit about what we're going to talk about in that week. We have tech talks in that one, which are kind of like this, but they're topic specific. And so we would do 15 minutes on that topic and then a Q&A like this. And then we have office hours. And so the reason why we don't just keep modifying the page every week is because we teach this course and we want to use the same general pages week after week. Like we want the week 4 page to be the same every time we teach the course. So that's why we make a bunch of different pages instead of just modifying this. Some people are like, well, I rewrite my course every year, every semester, and I just like to modify my homepage. That's fine. But it's easier come Sunday night when you're like, oh my gosh, tomorrow's Monday, to just click on the other week and then click use as front page instead of having to rewrite your whole page each week. So then each button goes to a different whatever week we're on, and then these change just a little bit from the first one. We keep our home pages very brief because what a student can see in the one frame of their computer, we try to keep all our pages close to that. So they're not a lot of scrolling for the students. Let me show you how to change this right here. At the bottom of this is your course navigation menu. This particular one that starts with home announcements. This is your global navigation menu. This global navigation menu does not change regardless of which course you're in, as long as you're logged into your school. This is as long as you're logged into your account. So over here, this is the course navigation menu. This can be customized for every course. You go to settings. And this is also where you set up the self-enrollment. So you guys have been to this in your sandbox, the settings. Up here at the top, it says navigation. These are the navigation things I want you to see. These are the things I don't want you to see.
Oh.
And so I can take assignments and I can drag it down here. And then when I save it, you won't see it here. And the reason why these are good ideas is if you allow your students to go straight to assignments, are they going to read the content? Probably not, because content doesn't have points directly associated with it, you know. So they just want to do the work. How do I get the grade? They never get as good of a grade, but in that little freshman college brain, it works for them. And well, it doesn't work for them, but that's what they think works. So you can move, if you say, you know what, we're not going to be using the chat in our class, so I'm going to move it down here. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And then when you save it, they're only going to see this. If you want to know exactly what your students are seeing, when you're in settings, go into student view, and you'll get this bright hot pink around, and then now you're seeing it as they see it, and not as you see it.
If we take out take out the assignments page like you just showed us, they can still access those assignments, so correct?
Yes.
Through the content.
The only thing that you are doing when you drag and drop those is you're just changing what is visible here. It doesn't unpublish anything or make it inaccessible to them.
Okay.
If you disable the page, then they may not be able to see it, but I just drag them and drop them into the new place. I should put them back since I'm not in charge of this class, and people will be like, where'd they go? Okay. There is you can disable a page. I don't really know. I don't know exactly what the difference is. I always just drag them around. Oh, I guess it still calls it disabled. I don't know why they have to have two buttons. Drag and drop works for me. I like it. So yeah, no, it doesn't change it for them. It just changes it for you. It gives them less opportunity to just go off wherever they want to. All right, that was one. One of the other options for a home page, there's the custom page. Then there is the course activity stream. I'm not a fan. In a course that's been established, it'll show you the recent activity. There's 5 announcements, 14 messages for me because it's different for everybody. But it doesn't give them much for the course. In a brand new established course, you just opened it, it's week 1 of the semester, this is going to say no activity. And then they're not going to have any information. Or it's going to tell them they missed 5 announcements and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally behind. So I'm not a fan of the course activity stream. I haven't figured out a reason why it's a good idea when there's other options, you know?
Okay.
So this is when you pick the pages like we did. If you wanted to go to modules for the home page, it just takes them to the modules list when they first log in.
And those are essentially the same as assignments, right? That they'll be going through.
Yes, but the modules is kind of more like a table of contents. The modules separates everything out into exactly how you want them to proceed. So you're taking your assignments, your content, your discussions, your quizzes, and you're putting them in here to create a pathway for them in a table of contents. So that's where it's different from assignments. It can be a good spot. These icons are weird. I don't know why. Maybe Canvas changed them. And so this takes them through, but if they're brand new to online learning, they may not still know where to start. unless you title something, first day, start here or something.
Okay.
This one's not published, so they wouldn't see that. Yeah, they changed this little cloud. This looks like upload to me. I wouldn't call it publish. And then
Those are what I've been seeing.
Mhm.
they updated it. It used to be just a green cloud with a check mark.
Oh.
So this is one of the reasons, though, why anytime in our course when you see a how to do something, we link you to that Canvas guide, because Canvas. So for instance, if I said, how do I publish my course? 3 weeks ago, when it was the other little icon, it would show me a picture of the icon and I would click on it. Now, if I go into that same Canvas guide, it's going to show me this picture. They update them constantly. So if I make the video, it's only going to be whatever I saw at the date that I made it, right? Whereas Canvas is really good about keeping everything updated. So if you link your students to the Canvas guides instead of a how-to or
Emily,
writing out the directions,
the trash can.
then you're going to, then they will have the opportunity to see real time exactly what's the most current, because that's what Canvas is going to give them. So that's why it's better to link to Canvas guides instead of just writing out how to do something or making your own video for it, because theirs is always current. Okay, so if you go to just the modules page, we have the resources in this particular class, and then the Unit 0. This class is a little different than ours because it's so big. And then if something's unpublished, they wouldn't see it. Or if it's not launched yet, if it's locked, they wouldn't see it. Another option for the homepage is the assignments list. Again, I'm not a fan, because otherwise students just want to go straight to the assignments. And there's just a lot going on here in the assignments. And then if they just went straight through the assignments, they would miss all the content. This particular course has an assignment associated with every content, so you can see it, but most courses you wouldn't see that. And then syllabus. Now, Canvas calls this syllabus. I would like to call it course summary, but that's not what they call it. This banner, of course, we added at one, so it says syllabus. And then we paste our syllabus here in a PDF, or you can see the inline preview. Let's see, minimize preview. And then this here, every assignment, anything you have that has points shows up here in the course summary for your students, which does give them the opportunity to pop into those things randomly without, following the pathway that you've set out for them. But it's also a great way for them. How many of you, of course, in your syllabus at the bottom, you always have that schedule for them, right? This is the assignment, this is what this do. This is pretty much creating it for you. Everything you create in Canvas shows up in the course summary. You do not have to put it there. The only way you can add things to the course summary that are not graded is to go into the calendar and add something. So this is a calendar thing. You can see the little calendar right there. And so you can add things to the course. If you have certain office hours, if you have, like in our class, the Canvas Klatch shows up on here because I put it in the calendar. So let me go back to the homepage that this one was. If you paste your entire syllabus on the syllabus page, your students will never get to the course summary because it's going to be too long. Mm-hmm. All right. So in our class, see again, this part's really small here, and then the course summary is here. See how it has the calendar ones, and then it has each of the assignments at the bottom of the course summary. Did that help about the home pages, Amy?
Yes, it did. The thing that I was wondering is, so if we were going to add like the actual verbiage from our syllabus, we would have to attach it to the button that you had to start. Is that right?
Yeah, you don't have to, and you can paste all your content from your syllabus if you want. Generally, our pages are just, we try to keep them fairly
Clean.
small, so they're
Okay.
to navigate. In, let's see, that other course, let's see if I can show you. That one not as much as the other one. I'll come back here. Your faces are in my way. All right. In this one, the syllabus is more detailed than in our class. So what we did is in the orientation, this is pretty much all the information that's in the syllabus. It's just all separated into little content pages.
Mm.
So each one is a short page. And then there's links later on to get them through, because, I mean, I can post my syllabus all day long, but that doesn't mean a student's going to read it.
Right, right. I totally see where you're going with that.
And so you can go either way. I'm a fan of the syllabus quiz. I used it in my middle and high school classes also because I wanted them to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And some faculty members are like, well, you know, I don't want to spend that much time on covering the syllabus. But in your face-to-face course, that's usually what you do on the first day. So it's not different than that, but everybody thinks of it different. You know, it's hard to get into that mindset that it's okay to cover this content. That's why we have a unit 0 and a unit 1, so that our units match up with our weeks, and the unit 0 is the syllabus. Like all the housekeeping stuff, right? So that's how we do it in that one.
Thank you.
Of course. Let's see. What else did I want to say about that? That's why I make a note, because I forget. All right. So some people are still struggling with the sandbox in our course. So the main thing to notice, and I wish I could just zoom in on this little part on the address bar, but it won't let me do that. So is that this part of the URL for your Canvas class varies. You have your campus one. So if you are at Mount San Jacinto College, it would say msjc.instructure.com. If you're at El Camino, it says elcamino.instructure.com. And then for our At One courses, it says ccconlineed.instructure.com. And then the free for teachers account is just canvas.instructure.com. So it's like 3 separate campuses. The login's different. How you arrive at it is different. I make bookmarks. This is login to Canvas is my regular course, and then the sandbox, canvas.instructure.com, is Canvas sandboxes, because I can't remember, you know, that just gets me exactly to the campus I need to get to quickly. So then once at the canvas.instructure.com, that's where you can create the account and set up your sandbox. So I know I had one person that said they called Canvas, and Canvas was like, you're not an admin, you can't make a sandbox. Which is true, you can't make one on your college's account, but you can make one on the Canvas free for teachers account, and that's why we use that one. We like to keep the sandbox separate from your institution's instance of Canvas, because there's a lot of teachers that teach adjunct for 3 different colleges. And, you know, if you're not a full-time tenured faculty, it's possible that you won't teach at one of those next year or in 3 years or whatever. So it's nice to have something apart from your institution where you can practice and create and play around that's going to be yours regardless of what institution you're associated with. So
I see.
that's why we use that one, so that it allows you to have access to it regardless. If originally, at one point, we had you create the sandbox in the ccconlineed.instructure.com, so it was the @ONE instance of Canvas. The problem, though, is when 3 years from now, you haven't taken an @ONE class in 3 years, and you are thinking, hey, I want to access my sandbox, and then you can't remember your login or whatever, and then you have to call @ONE, and they're like, wait, you're not in a course right now, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just, the canvas.instructure.com is completely independent and does not have anything to do with your institution or our institution. So,
And you said that it's pretty easy to transfer material that we're creating here onto our other course, our campus course.
so this is, so I did this because I knew that I also wanted my sandbox to be available to me outside of @ONE.
Mm-hmm.
And so my sandbox used to be on the ccconlineed.instructure.com website. And I went down to settings. And then here I exported the course content, and it creates a download.
Can you show me how you got there again? Where was that? In settings?
Mm-hmm. And then it's settings, export on the right. So remember we had student view? These icons are throwing me off. They haven't, the Campus conference is next week. So I'm sure they're like pushing out all these things before the conference so that they can talk about it in the new view.
Oh.
Okay. So, and then you go to export course content. And then, so you create it and you create the export, and it creates a file onto your computer call with a dot, or no, it doesn't create it on your computer when you click this. It creates a little file. It's actually going to do it right now. This is super quick. So it makes the export, and then it's good for 30 days, which doesn't matter. If you're making an export, you're probably downloading it immediately. That's how we usually do it. And then you just do it again once it's expired. So you click here to download, and what it does is it creates this IMSCC file name, okay? And then you just save it to your computer wherever you remember it, desktop, whatever. And then with that file, you cannot open it on your computer. People always try to open it, and they're like, I can't open it, it's not working. Well, it's a Canvas course export. It doesn't do anything without Canvas. You can't access it. So you save it to your computer. Then on your campus instance of Canvas, you go right here to import course content. And then it says, you know, it's a...
So that's from settings again.
It was right above the export. So this here, it lets you import from Blackboard, D2L, Moodle. But I will tell you, when you import from a different learning management system, it, they don't speak the same language. So everything that you had as a page in Blackboard becomes like a module in Canvas. And then you have to move everything around.
So if we're copying down that file from our computer, and we choose Canvas course export package, or copy a Canvas course?
This one is a Canvas course export package, and then you're going to look for it on your computer.
Okay.
I don't have it because I didn't save it, but you're going to look for it, and then you just say, I want all content or specific content.
Okay. Oh, that's so easy.
It really is. And going from Canvas to Canvas, it's super...
That is really nice.
So when we, for instance, when we copy... So I can teach Intro to Canvas. I taught it before, and I'm going to teach it again. This is how we do it. We export it, and then I think we actually use the copy one. Copy a Canvas course.
Really, Great. Wow.
And
Okay.
then we adjust the dates. So the last time I taught it, it started in April. So it had April 10th. And then this time we started it, it started July 10th or whatever. So I just change it here and then I click import and it changes all the dates. So as long as the course was 4 weeks and now it's 4 weeks, it just adjusts all the dates to fit. And then you just have to make sure they work. But it usually is really good.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Can I ask another question?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm working on a Mac and I'm using Pages and Keynote. If I take this material that I've loaded into Canvas and I use it on a PC, is there going to be a problem?
The pages aren't going to be a problem. Let's see. I always save everything as a PDF when it comes to like my Word documents or Pages documents. I save it as a PDF.
Okay.
The PowerPoints, which is Keynote,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not positive. We don't use them in our class, and so I'm not sure how they translate. And when I've seen other people use them, it's always been a PowerPoint. So I'm not entirely sure how the Keynote ones show up.
Okay. All right. I'll find out.
And you can save them as a PDF also. And, you know, it works like that. So
I can save Keynote as a PDF? And
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
You can save a PowerPoint as a PDF, so I'm assuming you can save it as a PDF.
Okay.
It makes
Cool.
each slide into a page.
Okay.
And then there's no animation, but it's just the solids.
Oh, yeah. That's fine.
Another thing that people do, a lot of people do with their PowerPoints, because if you were putting a PowerPoint in your face-to-face class, you would present the PowerPoint and you would talk about it, right?
Right.
So you can use a really easy app called Screencast-O-Matic. And what it does is it films your screen. So it's funny because before I worked for Out1, I was like, gosh, how do they make those videos? And then, so this program, you can do a lot with the free version, but I got to tell you, the paid version is $15.
Oh, wow. That's,
even teachers can afford $15, right? So,
yeah.
You know, I try not to promote things that are like $200.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't afford that when I was a teacher. I can't afford that now to pay for it for myself just to have the pro version. I can't, you know? And so that's one of the things I love about Screencast-O-Matic. It's cheap. You know, the pro version is worth the $15. It allows
so that allows you to talk through the PowerPoint.
Yeah. So
and
you
show
tell
it. Cool. That's
tell it to record, and it'll record your screen. You can have it record you if you want to use it to do a video. You can have it record both, so it'll record your screen with like your little picture of yourself, video of yourself. But usually if I'm doing a Screencast-O-Matic, I'm doing a screen. I don't need me. I just need my voice. So the pro version allows you, I was hoping there'd be little pictures on here. If you want to know more about it, I did a webinar on it. So the same spot that I took you to that one about tabs, if you go down, I think it was in March, and there's a webinar on Screencast-O-Matic. If you have the pro version, you can script out exactly what you're going to say. You can record it in pieces so that, I don't know if you guys, how many videos you guys have made, but I've made plenty where I don't make long videos, but I'll get like an entire minute into the video and then I'm like, I screwed it up. Now I got to start over. So with the pro recorder, you can script it, and then you can, if you know, each section's maybe 10 seconds because, you know, each little blip. And then if you screw up that spot, you can just re-record that part instead of re-recording. I mean, imagine if you were doing a 10-minute video.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you though, students are remiss to watch a video over 5 minutes. So even if your lecture is half an hour, you're better off cutting it into different parts, because I'd like to say it's the mentality of that generation, but I'm not much different. If I see videos on Facebook and I'm like,
Yeah, I'm the
10
same
minutes, I
way.
don't have time for that. Like, no.
If it's like 10 minutes, forget it.
Like, I want to watch that 2-minute snippet, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
let's do that. So that's your students. So you want to keep that in mind, because even if you had 4 5-minute videos, you're going to get more likelihood that they're going to view it, because they can watch 5 minutes in the morning. They can watch the other 5 minutes while they're sitting in the bathroom, or 5 minutes while they're, standing in line at the grocery store. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
you want to fit into the pockets of their life. That's how you're going to get success with them. It's a good idea to caption your videos. If you use the scripted format in Screencast-O-Matic, you can actually have it convert directly to captions, and it's already there. I do all my captioning in YouTube, and because I just think it works really well, and I just take my script from Screencast-O-Matic, paste it into YouTube. It does all the timings, and then I just check it. Because even when I work on a script, I go, you know how you always say different words than you meant to? And so then I just go through and I make sure that that's actually what I said and that it timed it right. But that's the easiest way to do a PowerPoint in your class, because really anybody can watch a PowerPoint. But if you're talking about it, it's going to have so much more meaning for them. So there's the thought on that.
Okay.
So yes, of course you can just put your PowerPoint in there, but what else? One thing that we've noticed in the profile is that you can put your email address all day long in the Canvas profile part, and it's never going to post it. This part.
Oh, yeah. Right.
So you can update your, actually it's in settings, and then you update your email address here, and then everybody's like, it doesn't show up. It won't. It's Canvas is asking for your email address so they know where to send you your inbox messages and where to send you your notifications, but it will not show up in your profile. So here in profile, this is title. I could have put training specialist, @ONE course facilitator. I put my email address because that just makes it show up right there under my name. And then I put it in the body of my email down here. And I did not put my expected response times. Shame on me. And then you just click save. This is my Sandbox profile. No, it's not. This is my other one. So it doesn't show the link that I had put on here, the @ONE one. I had linked to the @ONE website, which is super dumb. And then I'm sure that's something that Canvas will fix because it took it out. And then somebody had said that.
That was my problem.
Was that yours, Danny? Okay,
Yeah.
so you did it to me. I clicked edit and then it was gone.
Yeah, and I went back in and it's like, oh, okay, well, I just won't edit anymore.
I guess you have to add it every time. Since I did it on the same computer, the drop down was there and I could just put it in, but.
Yeah.
So here it'll say like contact no registered services. I'm not going to link you to my LinkedIn. Like for you guys, it's faculty, it's no big deal. But when I've got 150 students that are 18, I don't need them on my LinkedIn or my Facebook,
Right.
or my Instagram or my whatever.
Absolutely.
And so I just don't do it. That's just me. I'm not going to put them on my Twitter. I don't Twitter anyway, but any of these things are not valid to me. Like I wouldn't put them on any of those things. So, you have to put the information in your profile. I don't know why it's that way.
Okay.
One of the reasons why the California Community College Chancellor's Office chose Canvas is because Canvas is very receptive to suggestions. They have the Canvas community and you can go in and say, it'd be great if Canvas did this. And people can vote on it. And if something gets a lot of votes, they'll do it. Sometimes something gets a lot of votes and then they don't do it, but they'll tell you why they don't do it. So there was one that I was looking at one time, and when I first started, I was like, I really want to reorder these course cards. That's what they're called. On my dashboard. It's thinking forever. So I want to put them in whatever order I want. So if I'm a student and I'm taking 6 classes, it's a little different in college, but I would want to put like my Monday class, my Tuesday class, my Wednesday class. Like I want them in order. If I'm a high school student, I want them in first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth period. That's how I think. You can't. And so I looked it up in the Canvas community, and they said, and it got a lot of votes, people wanted it, but they said the programming involved in allowing it to do that was so extensive that it was better served doing other things. Like they just didn't see it as a priority. So they said down the line, they could see it as being a possibility, but right now it just wasn't in the cards for them. Anyhow, so that's something, if you haven't been to the Canvas community, I do know it probably by heart by now, but I just put Canvas community and then it comes up in the Google search. It's the first one. So you can pretty much ask, here's the Canvas guides under find answers. You can ask pretty much anything. And it doesn't use fancy Boolean searches or anything like that. You can just put, can I do whatever? Somebody was asking me the other day how to view private comments is what he said. But I know he meant like submission comments. So give it a sec. And so here it says every guide and comment, these little light bulbs are ideas. Remember how I said people can put it up for vote? So those are ideas that people are voting on. These are different guides. How can I view the assignment comments from my instructor? And so then here it says exactly how to do it. This is version 8 of this guide. It was just updated on July 16th. So this is why the Canvas guides are so awesome, because they update them constantly, but this URL that I link you to takes you to the most recent one. So when I posted this last week, I would have posted the same URL, but it wouldn't have been the most it would have been before this most recent update. And sometimes they'll change the way they do it, and then they'll link you to a different, it links you to the new one because they completely changed it. It's not even the same document anymore. But this is definitely the best way to find out how to do anything in Canvas is the Canvas community. If you want to know it, it's there. I've never looked up something on there and I couldn't find it. Honestly. There is a, let's see. There is a group. See how it says join groups? There is one for the California Community College system. So you can, I'm not logged in, so it won't even let me, but they have a group for the CCC teachers. And so you can join that group as long as you have a .edu email address. Pandas are their mascot, so of course they have this super cute picture. If you are a Canvas admin at your school, then you could join this group. If you're an instructional designer, higher education, that's always a good one. Okay, so that's one way to get information when you're just not sure. I mean, everybody's got their different things they want Canvas to do for them. So this is a great place to get answers. Did you guys have any other questions about, well, anything?
No, this was really good. I appreciate your time. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for coming. Danny, did you have any other questions? I can't hear you.
To turn my sound back on. I thought I did when I was in my sandbox, but now I can't remember what it was. Because I've been working through Unit 3.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I've been kind of able to do it. the calendar item, we just basically, I mean, you didn't care what it was. It would just
I don't
do
care.
something on some day or something.
Correct. Let me tell you one thing about the calendar item real quick. I always forget. And what happens is people add it to their calendar and then they can't figure out why I can't see it. So this is why. When you add it, if you have a calendar on your phone or anything like that, it always has this also. You have to pick your sandbox here. If you choose your name, it's like your own private calendar stuff, and then only you can see it.
Okay.
So you have to make sure that you choose. If you go into student view, you can see what your students see, and you'll know if they could see it or not. But if you don't choose your sandbox, it won't be there.
And
so
you do that for every assignment?
On every the assignments go automatically. So for your class on the calendar. But if you want to add something like a calendar event, like when I did the Klatch, okay, so for this class, I mean, I'm teaching 2 sections of the exact same class. So I just make 2, and I use 1 Canvas Klatch for both sections. This class and the OESP class, my office hours would be different for the 2 because the courses are so different. So I would make my office time for one of them at one time and at the other time for the other one. And then you choose over here which ones show and which ones don't. So if I just want to show what I see on my personal calendar, I click this one. Turn off my personal calendar, turn on this class. And turn off that class and turn on this class. Or you can see it all, together.
Okay.
Does that make sense, kind of?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's one thing that always hangs people up on the calendar. They make it, and I can't see it. And so the first time I taught the class, I couldn't figure out why I couldn't see it. And that's why. Because they were putting it on their calendar. And they see it, so they're like, I see it. I don't know what you don't see. That's why. You got to go into student view sometimes to get you to see the different things,
And how do you, I'm sorry, can you show me that? How do you get to student view?
When you're in your course, you go to settings, and it's right here.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I remembered where my question was.
Yeah.
When we make an assignment for discussions, you always it always shows up, the rubric always shows up. So I try to actually make a rubric just to see how it works for the discussion.
Yes.
And I made it, but it doesn't show up for the students. So I just added you had it on Unit 1, I think, this time for this course, to see the grading rubric, click on the gear icon. But how do you get it to show up on the main page there?
For discussions, you can't. They have to click the gear. So,
so I must have been seeing it on other assignments that you had us do or something.
The assignment, it's on there. So if you go to, there's a discussion, and then you click here, show rubric.
Right.
And then it'll show it.
Yeah.
In the assignments, it shows it on the bottom.
Okay, so it's just the difference between those 2 types of work then.
Yeah. So see how the rubric's down at the bottom? I don't know why it does that. I don't know why.
Oh, I think I was getting confused. If you scroll up on that page, the assignment is to create a discussion. And then that's but that's to our okay, now I know I'm confused, because that's to our sandbox, because that's one where we link, we just give you the URL.
And so sometimes I'm getting a few pushback too, like, how do I submit an assignment? You submit the assignment and then you paste, this is my sandbox. Do not send me this profile link. It does not work for your, it takes you back to the user's profile. Okay, so then I'm here on this page. This is the URL up here. This is what you submit. And it takes me then directly to that page instead of me having to go to your sandbox and search for the page, which is also awesome.
Yeah. That part I've been, I think, fine on. I don't think I've screwed up anything there. I found out where my confusion was with the showing up the rubric. So discussions, it doesn't, or the assignments, it will. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know why they're different. They just are. So let me know if you guys have any other questions during the week. Email me. We can always hop on a Zoom anytime. So it's super easy.
Appreciate your time. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good one.